The European Union faces a huge crisis as countries throughout the continent rebel against Brussels, with its future over the next few years now reaching a critical point, political experts have warned. The EU has experienced a roller coaster year so far, with the bloc finding itself in the spotlight as it desperately battles to solve a number of huge problems amid increasing mutiny from several member states. Brussels has come under attack from several countries over the bloc's response to the coronavirus pandemic that has swept through the continent over the past few months, killing hundreds of thousands of people. The crisis has forced governments to put their countries into lockdown, costing them billions of pounds in lost trade and blowing massive holes in their respective economies. Italy, which suffered more than most at the start of the European outbreak, was left furious and accused the EU of offering little to no help in the country's attempts to help manage the pandemic destroying its country. There is an ongoing row between member states over the Coronavirus Recovery Fund and the new 7-year EU budget in terms of how that should be paid for and how much countries should contribute towards it. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, whose country took over the presidency of the European Council on July 1, has urged fellow EU member states to reach agreement on both budgets before the upcoming summer break. The coronavirus pandemic also is forecast to plunge the EU into the worst recession in history, with member states still at odds over a European Commission proposal for a €750 billion fund to rescue the bloc. Ms. Merkel warned last month during a speech to the Bundestag setting out Germany's priorities for the rotating presidency of the EU. The pandemic shows us how vulnerable Europe is. EU negotiators are also currently in talks with the UK over a post-Brexit trade agreement, with a fight against the clock to get one signed before the end of the transition period on December 31. Political experts have warned the huge crises lingering over the EU, which shows no sign of being solved at the moment among bickering member states, leaves the bloc with a question mark hanging over its future.